So, friends, today we will discuss about two technologies in computer networking. One is known as ISDN, that is Integrated Service Digital Network. Another is known as ATM, that is Asynchronous Transfer Mode. So, we will discuss about these two technologies today. So, what is ISDN? We'll start with ISDN. So, what is ISDN? So, ISDN is basically it's known as Integrated Service Digital Network, as I told you, and it's a circuit switched telephone network system that transmits both data and voice over a digital line. So, it's a circuit switch. The most important thing is that it's a circuit switched telephone network system that transmits both data and voice over a single digital line. You can also think it of as a set of communication standards to transmit data, voice, and signaling. Okay, so the digital lines could be copper lines. It was designed to move outdated landline technology to digital. Actually, so it has come. It has came. Um, to move from the outdated landline technology to the digital systems, and that was the movement behind the ISDN. Now, ISDN connections have a reputation of providing better speeds and higher quality than traditional connections. Now, faster speeds and better connections allow data transmissions to travel more reliably. The modern upgrade to an ISDN would be a cloud phone system like that. So basically, ISDN. If we see the history of ISDN, so we will found that it will be found that ISDN was born out of necessity. Actually, why? Because analog phone networks failed constantly and proved to be unreliable for long distance connections. So sometimes in 1960s and around, the system began to change over to packet-based digital switching system. And at that time, event-based International Telecommunication Union, it is more conventionally known as the ITU, started recommending ISDN in 1988 as a new system for operating companies to deliver data. So that was the that was the initiation of ISDN, you can say. So uh, so basically, if you see, so you will see that uh, and this is a kind of network of ISDN. So here some ISDN bridges are connected, and with the bridges some telephone systems are connected. The bridges hubs are connected. With that some local PCs are connected in a LAN and like that. So that is basically the kind of ISDN network. Okay, so we will see in detail. So and now, what are the types of ISDNs? So types of ISDN, there are basically two type. One is known as BRI, that is basic rate interface. Another is known as PRI, that is primary rate interface. Okay. So what is BRI? So BRI is basically, it provides the basic service. It provides the basic service. It only provides basic needs at lower cost. That is a BRI. And BRI, it's a premium version of BRI. You can say it's a premium version of BRI. That is, BRI is the main service. It provides a better connection, more reliable service, and faster speeds. Now, the both BRI and PRI use B channels for sending data and D channels for other forms of communication. So there are two channels you will find in ISDN. One is B channel, another is D channel. So B channel is used for sending data, and D channel is used for some other forms of communication. Different lies in the number of channels actually. This difference lies in the number of channels actually. So BRI uses only two B channel and one D channel, and its maximum speed is 128 kbps. But PRI varies in the number of channels. Okay, in US, PRI tends to use 23 B channel and one D channel. Okay, it could be faster. It could be faster. Like this is the picture of the BRI and PRI. So if BRI you take, so it is two B channel, one D channel, and PRI it is 23 B channel, one D channel. So that is basically the ISDN interface types. Now, if we when we are telling about the ISDN interface type, so I am moving you to some another space, that is the ISDN reference model. We should discuss that. So for that, I am moving my laptop to in front of the board, whiteboard. So I'm trying to give you that thing. So that is basically, I think it is visible. So that is basically, uh, so this particular thing. This particular thing is the ISDN reference model from within this thing. This is the ISDN reference model. Now, in the ISDN reference model, we will found lots of things. One is known as TE1. Now, what there are different things. Now, first of all, known as TE1, then known T NT2, NT1. So, we're starting from here. NT1. Now, what is NT1? Now, it basically implements the physical layer functions. This NT1 basically implements the physical layer functions. Now, this is NT2. Now, NT2 example, as an example of NT2, you can think it's a LAN router. It's a LAN router. This NT2, it's a LAN router. Okay. So this is the physical implementation, physical layer implementation, NT1. This is the LAN router connected with this physical layer implementation. Now this is T1. Now T1 is what? T1 is basically is some you can think it as a ISDN compliance device like a digital phone. So that is T1 actually. Now what is T2? Now T2 is it is a device which is non-ISDN compliance. This device, it is non-ISDN compliant. Now that device is connected to the main ISDN line with TA. That is a terminal adapter. This is not terminal adapter. So this is known as terminal adapter. Okay. So NT1 it is interfaced with a reference point which is known as U. Now NT1 NT2 is interfaced by the reference point known as T. Now NT2 and T1 is interfaced with the reference point known as S as well as TA, and TA and TE2 the reference point is R. So this is basically the ISDN reference model. This is basically the ISDN reference model. Okay. So these are the devices. These are the devices involved. This type of devices actually can be involved in an ISDN reference, ISDN network. Okay. So now, if we see, suppose again I am giving you some. So basically, if we see the ISDN reference models, so you will see this is the ISDN reference model. As I told you, that is this is T1, this is T1, this is NT2, this is NT1. NT1, this is basically the interface U. Interface U, it is connected with NT1. Now NT1, as I told you, it's a device which implements the physical layer functions. Then NT2 is the device. NT2 is another device which basically it's a device like intelligent network, like you can say intelligent network terminal, like your LAN router. Now T1 is the some ISDN compliance devices like digital telephone. T2 is the non-ISDN compliant device. This is T2, which is connected with some terminal adapter. Okay, and these are the reference points between these devices. Okay, RST and these things. So I will move you further once again in front of my board. I think I'm not sure that you have got it at the first time. So this is basically this thing I'm talking about this whole thing I'm talking about this thing. So this is basically NT1. This is basically NT1 network terminal 1. This is NT2, and now this is T1, this is TA, and this is T2, and these are the reference points. Okay, so this T1 is the ISDN compliance device. T2 is non-ISDN compliance device. Now NT2 is some intelligent network of device like LAN router and like that, and this is the adapter. Okay, so I think now we have got it. Okay, this is the adapter, right? So now suppose we will discuss about uh, Like now next big thing is in ISDN. So ISDN is a, as I told you, that ISDN is, it has born out of a necessity. Now what happens after in the era of 1990 actually, this ISDN, the speed of ISDN seems to be not sufficient. So we have moved to some other technology, and that is basically known as ATM. So ATM, that means asynchronous transfer mode. It has come again from our necessity. Now it's a switching technique that uses time division multiplexing. Okay, ATM is a switching technique that devices that uses time division multiplexing, TDM, for data communication, and it to encode data into small fixed size cells. Actually, ATM is a network. It is a connection oriented. ATM is a connection oriented network, and it's a packet switch network. ATM is a packet switch network where 5-byte header is used for sending a message to set up a connection actually. So there are if we see the structure of the ATM cell, we'll find that found that 5-byte is used for the header portion, and rest of the 48 bytes for the payload, that is the user data actually. So that 5-byte header is used for the you can say that set up a connection and all that, and all cells follow in the same path to the destination. In ISDN, it's the most important thing that all cells follow the same path to the destination. Okay, it's a kind of packet switch network, but for all cells follow the same path to the destination, and provides end-to-end quality of service. Provides an end-to-end quality of service. So ISDN, ATM. It has 3 layers, as you can see in this note also. That is physical layer, ATM layer, and ATM adaptation layer. Now physical layer, it's contemporary to the OSI physical layer. You can understand. ATM layer, it is contemporary to data link layer of the OSI. ATM adaptation layer, it is contemporary to the network layer of the OSI. So the things and the jobs are the same actually. So physical layer, the job of the physical layer is to transmit the bits and bytes. It also here same. ATM layer, it is like data link layer, and ATM adaptation layer is like network layer. So as I told you, the size of an ATM cell is 53 bytes, among which 5-byte header and 48-byte is payload. And there are 2 different cell formats. We call it user network interface, UNI, and network interface, known as NNI. So asynchronous. What is the meaning of asynchronous? Asynchronous implies that the cells do not need to be transmitted continuously as in synchronous line. What happens in the synchronous line? Cells are transmitted continuously. In the asynchronous line, whenever there is some data needs to be sent to some other section of the network, it is sent like that. So ATM is an asynchronous network. And ATM is flexibly divide the bandwidth requirement of physical. It provides scalability both in size and speed and all that. So now I will try to make you understand that what is the difference between UNI, NNI, and I will give you one example of an ATM network. So again, I am moving my laptop to the in front of the board, and here you can see. I hope you can see that. So this is basically the ATM network architecture. This part is the ATM network architecture. This part. So here you can see this is UNI, this is NNI. So what is UNI? User to network interface. What is that? Basically, this is the ATM network. This is basically the core of the ATM network, where some switches, these are the switches, switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, like that. These are the switches are connected. Now in between 2 switch, the interface, it is known as network to network interface, NNI. In between the switch, the interface is known as NNI, network to network interface. And in between switch and the endpoint, these are the endpoints basically. So in between switch and the endpoints, this interface is known as UNI. So there are 2 interface, you can see UNI and NNI. Okay, so these are the UNI between user. Basically, endpoints means you can think it as an user. So user and the network, this is UNI, and network. This is between the switches, ATM switch. This is NNI. So this is the basic structure of an ATM network. Okay, and as I told you, what are the ATM layers? These are mainly 3 layers: physical layer, ATM layer, and ATM adaptation layer. So this is basically the 3 layers of ATM. So So ATM is a very, you can say it's a very, very useful technology. ATM is also a very useful technology, and uh, so that is actually, so so this is the ATM reference model. As I told you, this is the ATM reference model: physical layer, ATM adaptation layer. Now again, physical layer, we will demonstrate it later on also. The physical layer corresponds to the physical layer of OSI model. At this layer, cells are converted into bit streams and transmitted over the physical medium, as I told you. Now this layer has two sub layers basically. One is known as PMD. PMD means physical medium dependent. This is PMD. Another is known as TC sublayer, that is transmission convergence. Now TC sublayer, this TC sublayer, it's basically, it has some very important jobs actually. So TC sublayer, convergence layer, it is the layer on which different types of traffic such as voice, video, data, etc. converge. So this convergence layer is the layer on which different types of traffic such as voice, video, data is converged. Convergence layer offers different kinds of services to different applications such as voice, video, browsing, etc. Okay. Another important thing about ATM is that it supports two types of communication. I mean, constant bitrate. It supports constant bitrate as well as variable bitrate, which makes it more flexible. Constant bitrate, it supports constant bitrate, that is CBR. It also supports variable bitrate, that is not constant. Okay, so it provides some flexibility in that way also. So that is about the ATM layers. Now after this ATM came into the picture, then uh, it has initiated another technology, that is basically, uh, another technology was once was known as the broadband ISDN, basically BISDN. It is known as the BISDN, broadband ISDN. So basically, um, broadband ISDN reference model, this model actually represents the functions of ATM that are inserted into BISDN model. So it is basically represents the functions of ATM that inserted into the BISDN model. Okay, so that is what, that is this. This is basically the ATM layers. You see, that is the physical layer, then the ATM layer, then ATM adaptation layer. So these are the ATM layers. Now, at the physical layer, what I have told you, that bit timing, physical medium, this is the job of the physical layer. Again, cell rate decoupling, cell delineation, transmission frame adaptation. So these are the very basic thing of the physical layer and these things. Now, ATM layer, the job of the ATM layer is generic flow control. We know what is flow control. Before getting an acknowledgement from the receiver, how much data you can send. That is basically the flow control. So how much data I will send so that the receiver can accept it. That is basically the flow control. And then VPI VCI translation. Now here VPI means virtual path identifier and VCI means virtual circuit identifier. You have already seen these things in circuit switching and packet switching kind of networks. So virtual path and virtual circuit identifier. So cell VPI, cell VCI translation. Cell VPI translation. Basically the two things, VPI and VCI translation. Cell data generation and extraction, and ATM adaptation layer. Now in the ATM adaptation layer, there are two things. One is known as convergence CS, another is known as segmentation and reassembly. Now that convergence layer I talked about, the convergence layer, this layer basically provides lots of things to us. It basically converge voice, video, data, everything uh, for us. So this is about the BISDN model actually. In the BISDN model, higher layers, these are some higher layers. Higher layers means higher layers of the OSI, and this is the control plane, user plane, and this is the basic model of the ATM BISDN reference model. So this is about ISDN.